Ladies and gentlemen, today I got my panties on my head. This is my beard net. But today is April the 2nd, and we just want to take a quick update of the birth pangs of the dilation, right? What I've been noticing all night, last night, and today, that these fault plates have been active. 5.2 in the mid-Atlantic. We've got a volcano down here. They call, what is this? This is Stratovo volcano. It's erupting. That's an underground, on the seabed erupting. So that's going to change the temperature of the ocean. Now, that could very well affect Antarctica. And that could be something that we need to, well, I'm going to say we need to, but we're just watching because we know the hour. So we're going to slightly come over here, and we have powerful earthquakes happening over here on that Pacific Rim. Okay, this was a 6.2 an hour ago off Japan. Okay, or was it Japan itself? So, I mean, when you zoom in, notice that all the fault lines are active. So that's off the coast of Japan. That could trigger a tsunami warning. Okay. Now, look at the fault line here. You go down here. This was 13 hours ago. You had a 5.5. I find it odd that all the fault lines have been quaking. Of course, that whole Pacific plate is under stress. And let's zoom out and bring it back over to our side. Now, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this one as well. This one was 15 hours ago, a 6.3. That's very significant. And when you get over here on the, what is that? The east of Australia? Yeah, it's the east of Australia. On the east side of Australia, in the Fiji Islands, they had a 4.8, and that was 4 hours ago. Over here in Thailand, you got a red circle. 46 minutes ago, Myanmar, aftershock. Still getting aftershocks. That's a 3.7. All right. Iran. Ain't that funny? 3.5. Well, they get earthquakes over there. That's not uncommon for them. On this fault line, 20 hours ago, 3.0. Okay. Of course, Greece, we all know about the activity over there in Greece. Ethiopia, there is a fault line that runs from Ethiopia down to Tanzania. And you got earthquakes and volcanoes, but mostly volcanoes going off over there. All right, so let's zoom back out. Of course, we just covered that one. United States of Babylon. Of course, all governments are Babylonian, if you don't know that. So, in New Mexico, 3.0, 22 hours ago. The Gulf of California, 16 hours ago, question mark, they're kind of iffy, 3.3. Off the coast of California, on that fault line, of course, 14 hours was a 3.3. Next to that one, you had a 4.0. So all that energy being triggered. Of course, Yellowstone, which would be right up in here at the where Montana and Wyoming and Idaho meet, there is a super volcano there. Then again, we got thunder and lightning out here. Just some lightning just now. No activity now. That's why I use multiple apps. So we're going to go to the 3D app and take a look at the birth pangs over there. Iceland has been super active as well, just off the coast. All right, you see all these little bubbles out here. Thunder here. Spring storms, 5.2. And that was the epicenter. And let's move this out the way. Let's go back and recycle. And now we want to go back to our page. So now let's open this up. See if I can get this open. There we go. So Iceland, busy. Everywhere busy. Up here. What is this? I can't even pronounce that name. You had a 4.0 up there. That's a weird name to pronounce, but I'm not even going to try to butcher it. All right, so that's what this map looked like. Super active. And I mean, if you take a look at some of these bubbles, yeah, the 6.2, that's the one off of Japan. That's normal for them. But what's not normal is how frequent they've been happening, okay? Let's take a look at the 3D. This is on the other side of the world. I know that might have triggered some folks just now, but I really don't care. 4.7 in, okay, that's the one we just looked at on Myanmar. The red right there, that is Japan. That was an hour ago. And then we have the 5.0 and the 4.7. Okay, this will show significant. Like you see all these little yellows and greens, and they won't put the number up there. Anything over 4.5 on this app, they'll show it. Tanzanian or Tonga, Pacific Antarctica red 6.3. Okay, then you get up here to our part of the world, and we do have activity here in Oklahoma, Texas. Again, I showed you. Now, again, on the other map, it didn't show. Maybe it's because it doesn't read to a certain degree. But right here is the mother lode. That is the Yellowstone volcano. Keeping an eye out on that. Okay, so where the other map did not show, based on satellite positioning probably and updating the data, okay, Washington State is active. Okay, so California, just a lot of activity in between California and Nevada. These are shallow earthquakes, I'm assuming, because they are not showing up on with a number next to it. You notice that those greens and blues, okay, they don't have numbers. When you start getting into the yellows, that's when they start having numbers next to them. So for instance, again, that's an orange going into red. It's a 5.2. So with this one, some show numbers, others don't. But again, depending on, I don't know what the settings is on this, but I have to check it out. But we're just going to keep an eye on these earthquakes, because there's the great earthquake coming. Hawaii is a volcano. You're just looking at the tip of Hawaii. All the rest of that underneath is a volcano. So we're going to continue to watch and pray, folks, that we are worthy of escape. Peace.